Hi, my name is Johnny Nash, and this is my weekly video segment where I dig deep in terms of the world of careers, recruitment, and workforce. I want to provide as impactful and insightful videos to my community on LinkedIn, as well as other social media platforms, where it's not just about information education, because we live in a world of information, but it's actually having some key takeaways where you can go and then implement and execute. Because there's one thing listening to these videos, but it's another thing altogether in terms of taking actual quantifiable actions from it. So I've placed 3,000 people globally in the 23 years as a leading headhunter and careers SME and accountability careers coach, working with some of the most exciting startups who have become scale-ups and then become unicorns, as well as the biggest multinational companies in the world. So what I wanted to do is formulate a list of the top 14 major reasons why you are stuck in your career and not progressing. So in order to do so, I've had some detailed conversations with C-level executives, entrepreneurs, disruptors, job seekers, those who have navigated the workplace in terms of being able to climb the career ladder with effective progression and promotions. So my top 40 is thus the following. Number one, reactive to your work, just responding to opportunities as opposed to career planning out your future. Those people who are unstuck and are progressing in their careers are those with good levels of intentionality, and they plan out and roadmap their careers. As like you do in your personal life, where if you're moving house or you're looking to have a family, there is a degree of planning. There is some degree of due diligence, especially when it comes to the world of moving houses. Too often, candidates are knee-jerk to job applications and opportunities and don't have that proactivity and instead are reactive. That reactivity then causes them to be stuck and they don't progress as they might in their careers or jobs. Number two, you don't know what your why is and what really drives you. Often I've spoken to candidates and I've said, what is your why and what really drives you? And there then is a hesitancy. And it's understandable, right? Because having that conversation with yourself and having that self-talk be some of the hardest conversations we do have. And unless you do realize what your why is and what your driver is, then that will cause you to be stuck as opposed to unstuck. And those people that are unstuck have a clear sense of their why and what their drivers and motivators are. Number three, you're in a job because of the money rather than what you love to do. You then feel that you can't leave because of the money. And what happens is there's a vicious cycle of finances before fulfillment. Those who are unstuck are in what I describe the Goldilocks zone, where they love what they do, but they also have great financial rewards that come with it. 85% of people are unhappy in their jobs and their careers. 85%. You want to be in the 15% bracket. And that 15% bracket are those that love what they do. Don't get me wrong. There are aspects of any job, any career that we don't like. There is no perfect job. There is no perfect career. There's no perfect profession, whatever it might be. But those who progress love what they do despite any negative aspects that go with it. So don't be in a job just because of the money. And it's easy to do, right? Because we enter the world of work. We then have financial commitments. We then get married. We then have a family. And then we get in that vicious cycle. And once you're in that vicious cycle, it's really hard to go out. And then that means finances come before fulfillment. Number four, you're in a comfort zone. You are not being challenged enough. You can do the role standing on your head, but there's no personal development. Instead, there's stagnation. Being stretched, on the other hand, leads to excellence, progression, climbing upwards in your career ladder. And if nothing changes, then guess what? Nothing changes. So get used to being uncomfortable rather than just being comfortable in your comfort zone. Because if you just spend your life within the world of work and careers in a comfort zone, then you just simply don't challenge yourself. And those who are unstuck and progress challenge themselves and stretch themselves in a very positive, constructive way. Number 5, not upskilling yourself. Please write this down. The times we live in are uncertain. We've had the pandemic, the like of which we haven't seen since the Spanish flu of 1918. We've got more turbulence and more dramatic movements in the world of work and the marketplace, maybe since the World War II. On top of that, we have the ever-growing, exponentially increasing aspects of AI and automation. So 40 to 45% of all jobs will be automated, according to studies. 85% of jobs, though, haven't even been invented yet. So the good news is you have the opportunity to upskill yourself, as like you would upgrade your mobile phone. And if you don't keep your finger on the pulse in terms of this ever evolving and growing changes in skill set demands and workplace, then you really risk being outdated and left behind. Number 6, the fear of failure. Fear of failure is common, not just in the world of recruitment and careers, but also in the world of business. And that fear of failure holds you back. And I once came across a saying, and I've actually printed it off, and I have it in my work desk. And basically that saying goes, the fear kills more dreams than failure ever will. I'll repeat that again. Fear kills more dreams than failure ever will. So people stay in a job for far too long. Guess what? Out of fear. Fear that they'll make the wrong move. But don't let that hold you back. That's where you become stuck. Number 7, not goal setting. So we need to have goals, short, medium, and long-term goals. The lack of goal setting and then not holding yourself accountable, because that's the key thing to goal setting, is holding yourself accountable to those goals, absolutely holds you back and you become stuck. So without goals and targets, you don't have that destination point. But it's important to set realistic goals, because when we hit goals and targets that are realistic, we build up our reservoirs of self-confidence, self-belief. We build up positive habits. We reinforce those positive habits. When we do the opposite, guess what? It goes the opposite. Self-defeating, negative mindset, we can't do it. And then we don't do enough goal setting again. So it's important to have realistic goals, important to have dreams, but too often people dream their life away as opposed to living out their dreams. And the key is goal setting and targets, and then holding yourself accountable to it. Number 8, your lack of networks. This is more important than ever before. We all have a sphere of influence, but if we do not broaden our networks and convert those weaker ties into stronger ties, the lack of which will really hold you back substantially and will cause you to be stuck. So what's important here is that if you have someone who can open the door into a business relationship, into a job opportunity, referrals, recommendations, they're always much warmer. And that helps you in terms of career progression. That helps you in terms of being unstuck. Otherwise, if you don't have those networks, you then take a much longer route and you have to break down so many obstacles and brick walls. So if you can improve your networking, where it's not just your network equals your net worth, that cliche, it's actually converting weaker ties outside of your sphere of influence into stronger ties. Number 9, lack of time management and prioritization. This is a critical skill to be able to manage your time effectively and to be able to prioritize. That's what's critical and what's required. So when I speak to people that I coach and I mentor, and they have sometimes a sense of overwhelm, they're stressed, they don't get the right balance in their work life and their personal life, I've often encouraged them to develop a traffic light system: red, amber, green. So prioritize what's really, really critical. Put that as red. Then put amber for those that are critical, but not super critical. And then green, those tasks that are important, but they can wait until another day or another week, depending on the deadlines involved. Because if you don't manage your time management, if you don't effectively learn the art of prioritization, it leads to overwhelm. And overwhelm then leads to burnout. The two do correlate. So be in control of your work as opposed to your work being in control of you. Number 10, stop delaying, start doing. There is no perfect time, but postponing stuff within your career moving forwards is not a recipe for success. It actually causes you to be very much stuck and not be able to then move forwards in a positive fashion. So don't put off what you can do today for tomorrow, because tomorrow may never come. Number 11, not having a resilient mindset. Life, as we know, has many bumps in the road, especially in your career. It's not linear. So what I describe is the ability to have a bouncy bum. It's that ability in having a bouncy bum where you deal with setbacks, adversities, your ability to literally bounce back and move forwards. That's what separates stuck and unstuck, and progression and lack of. Number 12, lack of personal brand. It's imperative more than ever before to build a personal brand in the world of work and careers. There is so much competition. And if we don't have a personal brand, then we're at a disadvantage, and it can cause us to be stuck, and it can cause us not to progress. Personal brand, though, is not just cultivating rather, a full sense of you, but it's about you having that sincerity in building your brand that's in line with your purpose, your values, and who you are. And I think that's what people really relate to and really yearn and want, especially after the reset that's going to be taking place when we come out this pandemic. Number 13, the company you keep. So surround yourself with role models, great colleagues, mentors, coaches. We're not born into this world with knowledge or experience. We need great coaches and mentors. You know, you see that in the world of sport, you see that in the world of entertainment, in the world of music, well, whatever it might be. Coaches, mentors, the world of business. If you have a great colleagues, great coaches, great mentors, you become very much unstuck and progress as opposed to being stuck. And you want to surround yourself with people who raise you up rather than bring you down. Negativity is infectious, right? But positivity can lead to great success. Last, but by no means least, number 14, ask for help. This can be a tough one, as at times when we ask for help, we feel vulnerable. But no one has all the answers in life, so don't ever be afraid to ask for help. And in fact, those who effectively ask for help are the ones that are very much unstuck and are progressing. And those who sit in silence are those who are frustrated and very much stuck with their careers and not progressing. So I hope you enjoyed that video. And until next time,